Yes, people, we're going to be joined live and direct very soon with Aleighcia Scott, AA. Yes, people, big up yourself, DJ Everlast, big up yourself, Yard Squad Band. Love me, why do I cry? You know what, people? I definitely am feeling this tune. It's called Do You. If you don't love me, it's got a nice lovers rock vibe to this. Every time. I wonder. And you know what? I have to pull it straight back up again. Big up yourself, Muta Baruka Jr. every time. Big up yourself. And of course, love me for what I am. Oh, for what I love. If you like this flavor, please go and check it out, people. Aleighcia Scott, Do You. And here she is.
Hello, hello.
Hey, hey, hey. Blessings, 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 sister. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. You know, I can't deal with this cold, but I'm good.
It is cold today. It was not this cold yesterday. I am feeling it in my soul today.
Yes, it's definitely hitting us. For those who are across seas and enjoying the sun, oh, we give thanks still. But you know what, sister? For those that don't know you, let them know who you are and a little bit about you.
So my name is Aleighcia Scott. I am a Welsh Jamaican reggae artist based in Cardiff.
Wow. Wow. I mean, what does that mean to you? I mean, I feel like being Welsh and Jamaican is strong heritage in itself.
100%.
What does that mean to you, Chris?
It's exactly as you said, really. The mix of two different strong cultures, especially with music. There was no way I was not going to do music, really, wasn't there? So, yeah, it's beautiful.
Wow, wow. And you know, you've gone on this amazing journey, and I feel like you're growing and growing as an artist each and every day. But how did you get into this journey?
So for me, music was always a thing. The first time I spoke was when my dad was singing a song to me and I tried to repeat the words. So I feel like from then it was kind of just inevitable. And I just used to walk around making songs up as young as 5. They probably didn't make any sense, but to me they made sense. Yeah, and then always like school plays, that kind of stuff. I always did music. And I think I first went on the stage about 7, like properly as a show. I was part of a group in Cardiff at a place called Riverside Warehouse, and every Friday a group of us would get together and we'd learn some songs, sing some songs, and then we kind of had a few shows in a few different places, and I knew that nothing else made me feel the way music makes me feel, and still at 30 years old this is exactly the same.
Wow, wow. But how did you know that reggae was the thing? Because there's so many genres, but why reggae?
Yeah. So for me, reggae was everything I've always been a part of. My dad's parents are from Chilani in Jamaica. So for us in my house was breakfast, lunch, dinner, reggae. And to sing though, I was kind of a R&B singer to start, even though I listened to reggae because it wasn't really available for me to sing. So I would do choruses at youth club when we were writing stuff. Like the boys would do the rapping and then I would do the singing on the choruses and the different things like that. Then we'd upload it to MySpace.
Yeah, wow.
Yes. But then as I was turning maybe like 18, I started to record in London where reggae was just more accessible, and then people would be creating reggae in the studio, and that just felt like home for me, reggae music. So yeah, it's always what I've listened to, but yeah, since about 18 is what I've sung.
Okay, for real. And you know what? I mean, usually when artists are starting out, they usually do a cover tune. What was your cover tune?
So my cover tune is, so to start out like properly and professionally was maybe about 10 years ago, and You Don't Know My Name, the Alicia Keys tune.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
So sometimes just in my spare time that I don't really have much of, if I do, I might run a rhythm and just sing and see what comes out. And I was doing that at the time, and You Don't Know My Name fitted really nice on Columbus Rhythm. So
Yeah.
I recorded it and put it on YouTube, and I didn't know anybody wanted to listen, and then 15,000 people listened to it. And I was like, oh, maybe I should take this really seriously now. So I
Wow.
left my job and then just went full time with music.
Wow. Wow. I mean, how was that? Because, you know, people
Scary.
often are a bit scared, you know, to just quit their job, I mean, security as such, and just go straight into what they love. How did
Yeah.
you do that?
It was scary.
Yeah.
I have really supportive people around me, so I kind of always knew that this was what I was going to do eventually. So I did like school, college, uni, all that stuff, and then I worked full time, and I loved my job. But for me, I felt guilty going to work every day, and it wasn't music. And then it got to a point where I was kind of finding it hard to balance doing music and going to work, and it just wasn't working together. So I thought, right. And I remember going to a Maxi pre-show in Cardiff, and my friends were DJing, and they knew I always carried a backing CD in my bag at the time. So there was always rhythms in my bag at any moment. And one of them said, do you want to open for Maxi? And I was like, what? And then, do you want to open for Maxi? And I remember jumping on that stage, and the crowd was full and singing. And the next day I handed in my notice to work, because I was like, yeah, this is really me. This is me.
Wow. And did Maxi say anything to you?
I didn't get to meet him, actually. I didn't get to meet him,
Oh,
but it was a
wow.
really nice show.
Yeah, wow, wow. And you know, I mean, we just played an amazing tune called Do You. Yeah, and I ain't gonna lie, I really like this tune, and I was
Thank
listening to it, and I
you.
was thinking there's some lovers rock vibe going on in there.
Mhm.
But you
Yeah,
tell us about this tune.
so I've been working on an album with Rory Stonelove for the past few years, and that came about because he had seen some of my stuff online a few years ago and messaged me and said, hey, let's work on a project together. So my gran rang my auntie who lived in Kingston and was like, Alicia's going to come and stay for a while. So like 2 weeks later, I jumped on a plane, went to stay by my aunt's house, and then I went in the studio with Rory, and we've just been building basically ever since. So this song, Rory said in the studio one day, I'm going to play you a song and tell me what you think. So he played me the John Holt version of this song, and I was like, wow. It's like, this is beautiful. See how like
Yeah.
the strings sit nice, and it's just lovely. It's a lovely song. And he was like, okay, we're just putting one cover on the album. Is this it? And I was like, yeah, this is it. This is it.
Wow, wow. You know, I mean, you make it sound so easy as an artist, but I'm sure it's not easy. So how do you, as an artist, go about, you know, figuring out the rhythm, deciding what you're going to put on that rhythm? How do you kind of work it out? I mean, you don't have to give us the formula,
Mm-hmm.
but how do you work it out?
It's different ways, really. It depends what it is. So for example, like that's a cover tune, so we kind
Yeah.
of knew the basis of what we had. But then the first ever song I wrote for the album, Rory had sent me the rhythm, and I was on my way over to Jamaica on the plane when I wrote that song. And then sometimes just a melody might come to me, and that's what we'll start with. It's just a different process every time.
Wow, wow. And you know, was there like, I don't know, you know, so when people do their own kind of rendition of a tune, you want to add bits, you want to take bits away. How did you do that as such, or did you just kind of keep it as natural as possible?
Kind of a balance of both, really. So I try to kind of uh, pay homage to the song as much as possible, but there's a few words in there that I kind of change, maybe more to be from me, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But for the most part, we just tried to honor the original, and Rory really went to town on production. It's amazing.
Wow, wow. And what was it like working with Rory? I'm sure it was great, but in your words.
Amazing. So I learn from Rory every time I'm in the studio.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been great.
Yeah, for real. Big up yourself, Rory, if you're
Yeah,
listening.
Rory.
Every time. So somebody's asking actually about the album. What is it called? And they kind of want to know, when is it coming out? You know, all that great stuff.
Ooh, do you want to know the album? Do you want to know? Okay, so the album is called Windrush Baby. We don't have a release date for the album yet, so what we're going to do is keep giving you music on the album, and then we're going to give you the album. But it's going to be soon. It's going to be soon.
You know what? That name is very like thought-provoking. Windrush Baby. I mean, what made you call it that?
So that's me. So my grandparents came to Wales as part of the Windrush generation.
Yeah.
So our foundations are built on Windrush and built on the Windrush generation. So for me and for Rory, it was just really important to honour that.
Yeah, for real. 100%. I can definitely relate to that. Happened the same with my grandfather. Came here from Jamaica, and of course, we're all here now. You know,
Of course, it's a solid foundation.
definitely a strong, strong foundation. And of course, now, I mean, you're on the radio. Tell us about that journey because that's a different kind of vibe. Tell us.
So I've always loved radio. So when I was a kid, I had could you remember Alba, the stereo mic?
Yeah.
I remember for like my 8th birthday, I think I had the Alba hi-fi system because I've always just been a music head. So the Alba hi-fi system, and it was cool because you could record yourself into it, or you could record like little tapes on there, or do both, or whatever you needed to do.
Yeah.
So me and my brother would record our own radio shows. Like I've got the tapes somewhere. I'd love to listen to them now, but I don't know if any of it made sense. But we'd play songs, we'd go back in. So I always had a love for radio. And then I kind of guested on a couple of people's shows, but I never had my own show before.
Yeah.
And I put a tweet out not last year, the year before, saying I'd love to have a reggae-based show on Radio Wales. And lots of people had shared it because I didn't realise lots of other people wanted me to do the same. And the boss saw it and was like, okay, then come in. And I was like, oh, wait, what? So I went in to do a Christmas special and I covered somebody else's show twice. And then they said, do you just want your own show? So yeah, I've been left since. It's been nice.
Wow, wow. And how do you prepare for your show? I mean, everybody has their own kind of styles and flavors, but how do you prepare?
So it's quite wild, really. Sometimes the music just comes to me because I feel like if it comes to me, that's what I'm supposed to play that week. What's really nice now is lots of people from all over the world send me music, and that's really nice. But yeah, so I sit every week and I go through my playlist. Sometimes if I put too many songs the week before, and my selection is always like massive, and I find it really hard to take songs out the playlist. That is painful. I'm sure you know yourself, like that is painful. But yeah, so I just fill it up every week, or if I'm on the go and a song plays, I'm like, oh, I love that song. I'm going to put it in the show this week. So yeah, it's just an amalgamation of different songs popping in my head at different times.
Somebody's asked, do you play your own tracks?
No.
So, you know, what's this? What would you like in the future? I mean, you just keep on growing, you keep on expanding as an artist and on the radio. But what can you see yourself doing? It's a big question.
Do you know what? I have like goals I would like to reach, but I kind of take each day as it comes, or each moment, or each lesson as it comes. And then for me, it's like, okay, this happened. How do we then build on this right now? There's things I would like to achieve, and hopefully it will come to fruition. That word. Yeah, there's a few things. I just want to do it all. For me, I feel like I'd like to not put limits on myself and just see what happens.
Yeah, for real. That's definitely. I feel like it's more better when it's organic. It just comes
100%.
to you rather than, you know, just kind of doing things for the sake of it. That makes sense.
And everything I do as natural as possible, and whatever aligns with me. So I feel like my journey is then whatever comes from that.
Yeah, 100%. And you know, lots of young people, they want to kind of, I know sometimes they want to be you as a person, or they want to look up to somebody such as yourself, you know. And what would you say to them if for like some inspiration or some advice? What would you say?
My number one thing of anything in this life is stay true to yourself. Like, you don't have to try and be anybody else. You don't have to change to be anyone else. Be you, because that is beautiful. Like, that is number one.
For real. I want to big up Gramps Morgan. He's just joined
Big
us.
up
Big up
Gramps.
every time. So you know what, sis? When it comes to music now, this is quite a hard question for somebody who's on radio and artist. Who are your inspirations?
I have so many. All right, so I'll go with music and then we'll go with radio.
Yeah.
Okay, so music-wise, I grew up on an eclectic mix, but I'd say like heading at the top, Lauryn Hill for sure, because Miseducation Lauryn Hill was one of the first albums I really like studied, you know. I love Jasmine Sullivan, Erykah Badu, Sanchez, Beres Hammond. There's so many.
Yeah.
Etta James, Billie Holiday. And then
Jeez.
radio-wise, I'm a massive fan. Nadia J's Breakfast Show. So many. David Rodigan, Trevor Nelson. There's just so many.
Yeah, for real. And you know, what do you think it is that kind of, you know, you have like people who are exceptionally well in their craft, in their field. What do you think it is that kind of makes them exceptionally well and good in their field, in your opinion?
I think it can be a mixture of things. I think
Mhm.
what I notice about people who like really excel in what they do is people
Yeah,
who again stay true to themselves. They know who they are and what they do, and they work at that. They're not
yeah,
trying to go around or be like anything else. They're just being themselves, and you excel when you're yourself because that's all you can be.
yeah, 100%. And you know, if somebody says they remember you in Newport, at a show,
Newport
tip Ivy.
Crew. Yes, so that was one of my first professional shows when I was full time. I opened the show for Tipper Irie in Newport. It's got to be 9, maybe 10 years ago. Yeah.
Oh, wow, wow. And so, what was it? I mean, Tippa is fantastic artist. What was that like? Because he's insane.
That was nice. Also, it was scary because for me, like, as a professional artist now, for like the first time, so I performed for years, but I was like, this is my actual like being now. It was scary because I'm like, oh, I really gotta know what I'm doing. But yeah, it was fun. It was fun.
Yeah,
I always feel like you've got to have fun with what you got to do. You've got to enjoy it. But it was definitely scary. But it was fun.
yeah, for real. Wow. And I mean, do you remember like, I mean, you've done different shows each time, but do you remember that kind of wow moment, or has it not happened as yet?
There's
Does
been
that
so
make sense?
many. There's been so many. The most recent live wise is I was touring with Gentleman's Dub Club and the Skint, and
Yeah,
the one was is I was testing out new stuff to see how people would react, and
yeah.
people were singing with it, dancing with it, and for me I was like, whoa, that's
Wow.
actually crazy. And then again with the releases wise, the new single coming out and literally it's just gone crazy in like so many different places, and that's like wow to me. Like people are listening to me in places I've literally never been to. It's crazy. I give thanks.
Yeah, 100% agree with that. I mean, it is a big tune. Come on.
Thank you, thank you.
It's
I'm really
definitely,
pleased.
I mean, it is a very, very big tune, and I can't wait to hear the whole album in its entirety. So when that date comes, I
I'll
can't.
let you know. We'll do this again.
100%, 100%. And you know, for yourself now, I mean, where can we see you? I mean, I want to big up Josh as well, you know, in the Skints, first of all, big up
Every
yourself.
time, every time. What a legend.
So, what would you, I mean, where can we see you next? You know, performing or on the radio? Let us know some of that info.
So my radio show is every Thursday night on BBC Radio Wales, and you can see me live. I've got a few shows. I'm in Irish Shack in Cardiff on Sunday, the 31st of this month. I'm in Porters in Cardiff, and then we've got a few festivals to announce. One of them has just been announced today, Unearth's Festival. So my professor's on there, Dawn Penn, The Future Man, and I'm going to be playing my band there as well. So I am excited. But over the summer, we're going to be doing some festivals and a few different things. So it's going to be fun.
Wow. I'm looking forward to that. And of course, you just mentioned your band there.
Yes.
I mean, having a band and doing a PA is completely different.
Different, yeah.
But how do you cope with that? I mean, having a band is different energy altogether, but how do you as an artist kind of roll with that and keep it going?
Do you mean like between the two or?
Yeah, because you know, like obviously you've got to listen to the band, you've got to kind of take into consideration what they're doing.
Yeah.
How does that kind of work for you as an artist?
So my band are tight, big up to my band every single day of the week. And we put the work in and we just have a really good energy, and I feel like you just feel that on stage. Us on stage and also the audience, so we just all kind of feel off that together. But then as a PA set now, you feel the energy from the audience and people around you, so that's good also, and I love both of them. But the energy when you have the band with you is the next level.
Different levels every time. You know what? I mean, it's kind of putting you on the spot a little bit, but it's up to you. You can either sing a little something for the people, or you can say a little something for the people before we go. What would you like to do?
Ooh, I feel like if I'm on here, we're talking about the new single, maybe I have to sing a little.
Hey!
Shout out to Rita Jordan, pick up yourself.
Every time. So when you're ready, sis.
Oh, sorry. I wonder if you really care. Tell me, baby, you are sincere.
Jeez. You know what? The amount of love, the amount of fire that people are sending you is absolutely incredible. And you know what? I'm so happy to see another sister doing so well. First of
Thank you
all,
so
I have
much.
to give you up for that. And you know what? Just keep doing what you're doing, sis. And I'm so excited to see your journey and what you kind of become and putting out there in the industry. And it's so positive as well. So big up yourself.
Thank you. Big love. Good evening to
Big up
Mesa, my
Mary.
godchildren.
She's saying your voice is phenomenal.
That's my best friend.
Ah, big up yourself every time. And you know, any final thoughts, any final words you want to say to the people and kind of like how they can book you and so on?
So give thanks to Kat every single time. Thank you for having me. Give thanks to everybody tuned in. My brand new single is out now. It came out on Friday. It's called Do You. It's produced by Rory Stonelove. There's a video. You can go on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, all them things. The link's in my bio for all of them. And yeah, give thanks. I'm looking forward to the journey ahead, and I hope you can share that with me.
Yeah, man. Bless up, sis. And you know what? I hope you have a blessed rest of the evening. And I thank you again. And you know, we have to keep these going, these talks going.
Same time tomorrow, I will be there. Just let me know.
Okay. More love every time, sis. Bless up.
Thanks, sis. Thank you.
Bless.
Thanks.